Pretty cold outside, but you guys have got some workouts done inside. How have things gone for you guys?
Chris, we've had a pretty good group coming back. On January the 8th was the first day of school, so we're at that point in time, NCAA, we're allowed to have skill work and strength and conditioning. And so for that week last week, that was really positive. This week's been a little tougher with the amount of snow we've had and not a lot of school. So this is our 6th day of school, and we're working on the tarp today to get the snow off and pull the tarp so we can get on the field today.
And just going back to the fall ball, all those workouts, who are some guys that really stood out to you those fall sessions, the games that you guys had, the inter-squad scrimmages, everything like that?
Well, I think it's a continuation with the offense with Drew LeBounty and with the addition of Brian Hodge added to our staff and Austin Izio, kind of working together to keep improving our offense. Last year we finished very strong in the spring, and offensively we got better as the year went on. We need to stay healthy, obviously, but at the same time, our guys have really picked up where they left off in the fall, and now that we've gotten back into the hitting with a lot of reps in the cages, it's been real positive. From a pitching standpoint, Peyton Trawick takes over as our pitching coach with the help of Jacob Frederick, who was a former pitcher of ours last year. And the guys have really worked hard under Peyton. They really started to flourish at the end of the fall for us, and really did a tremendous job the last couple weeks of the fall of coming into their own. Now that we've been back, we've been throwing a lot of bullpens, and we'll continue that up until our first team practice, January the 26th.
You know, gotta ask you about just bringing all those new coaches in. How much have they kind of infused, getting new perspectives from a lot of new coaches? How's that gone for it? You kind of touched on it, but how's
Well,
it
I think the biggest thing, Chris, is they bring a lot of energy and they love to teach, and there's a real care factor there for the players as far as being with them and developing those relationships. Obviously, you're going to go when you're with a team and you're teaching and you're going through the ups and downs. You're with somebody all the time during that period. And everybody's in a little bit of a different developmental stage as far as where they're at in the process. And to have those type of people here in the program, those coaches here that want to teach and be a part of our players' lives is a huge factor for us and for me in the program.
Schedule came out not too long ago. Just your thoughts on the slate, just, in terms of non-conference and, the type of opponents you kind of wanted to bring in.
We're excited about the schedule, really are. The home and home with Ole Miss, obviously, will highlight our non-conference, and 3 of the 4 weekends non-conference at home. We deserve to be at our home field here as much as we can for our fans, and so we try to do as many non-conference games as we can on our field. In the conference, we're real excited to have Louisiana, Southern Miss, Texas State, Georgia Southern, Appy State come visit us in the Sun Belt. It's a really good home Sun Belt schedule too.
What are just some of the things you want to just focus on? Obviously, getting as much ABs as possible whenever practice does start, but what are some of the other things you want to kind of accomplish those first kind of early workouts whenever everybody gets together on the 26th?
Great question, Chris. I think when we get back, you never really know as a coach where everybody is at physically. Everybody obviously is excited about being back and mentally ready to go. Is where are the arms, as an outfielder, as an infielder. Coach Trawick has figured that out on the mound, and he had a lot of those guys working hard on their own before they got here. And so that part of it physically is to make sure they're in good shape without pushing too hard, because it's such a long season. You don't want to overdo it with the arms. And then if you have arm injuries, that could be an issue. From a rep standpoint, position player is as many ground balls and as many times to get some quality swings in with a plan and an approach that Coach LeBounty has in place for offense.
Grand Slam banquet around the corner, too. How excited are you that, bringing in a Cardinals Hall of Famer to town?
Very excited. Jim Edmonds is phenomenal, was a phenomenal Cardinal, and I think he's best known for some of the catches he made over the years and can really hit. And for him to have the amount of experience in Major League Baseball, playing the amount of time he did is awesome. And I think the thing that stands out when you really look at his career is the amount of Gold Gloves that he won defensively. Everybody talks about hitting, and everybody talks about, hey, we want to have a guy that could hit home runs, which he did, and he hit quite well. But from a defensive perspective, the amount of how he played the game defensively, that really is a cool thing to have come here. And for him to share that with our community is a big deal.
Got to ask you about the news we saw yesterday. Texas Rangers announcing Liam Hicks getting to go to spring training. How cool is it? A guy that worked and grinded in this program, a step closer to the big leagues.
Well, Liam is a young man that's very talented offensively, and he really puts a lot of time and effort into his craft. And so, to have that happen to him is really cool to see. Being a catcher and a left-hand hitter is a really good combination, and I'm sure that the Rangers like what they're seeing with his development, and hopefully we can see Liam up there in the big leagues, and he makes a great impression and during spring training, and because everything that he has worked for, he has definitely earned.
Last question, got a lot of veterans coming back. You brought a whole lot of newcomers in the fall. How have they just all kind of gelled together so far?
I think it's a continuation process, and I think that's something, every team is different. There's a different personality, there's different leadership. This year we've added 20-plus players to our roster, and I think college baseball is subtly changing on a yearly basis. And a lot of what you're seeing in college athletics with the portal, and guys being able to be more transactional. We rather not be transactional. We want to be relational. We want to be more personable. And for us, the core group that we have here, they want to be together. They want to play together. They want to win together. And so we're real excited about continuing that process with our core group from last year to keep improving with the addition of our great coaching staff. And we'll see where this takes us. We're excited about the Sun Belt play.